Hi, and welcome to the video on timeouts. Yes, we are talking about timeouts. And no, I'm not talking about a technique to use on your children. What I'm talking about here is a thing that we can do when our emotions get out of hand. When we begin to notice that we're not handling things very well, we're going from being a resourced adult to a reactionary child. And really that shift, it happens differently for everybody. And it happens for everybody. I get what's called disordered or discombobulated, or take your name for it, doesn't matter. Times where I need to go off and calm down, right? Where I am no longer able to live by my values. And so it becomes a matter of living by my values to leave the situation. And so let's talk about what a timeout looks like. What is this thing, and what does it look like to use? So very first thing you want to do is, if you decide, yeah, hey, I'm going to try timeouts in my life. There are definitely times when I am kind of losing it and I regret what I do. So the first thing you're going to want to do is finish watching this video. The second thing you're going to want to do is inform your partner that timeouts are now a thing. Right? If they are going to kind of be told when you're angry that you're taking a time out and you're going, that's really not the time to introduce a new idea into your relationship. It's not great timing because chances are they're not in a very resourced place either. So we talk about it beforehand. Oh, hey, guess what? I learned this new thing and I'm going to be giving it a try. It's called a timeout. And this is what a timeout means. It means that I will be gone for approximately about an hour, it depends. Because the purpose of this timeout is for me to calm down. This is not the time to say, okay, I'm going to take a timeout. You go out the door for a walk and you rehearse all the reasons that they're an idiot. That's not what happens. Well, it could. Not helpful, not really a timeout. That's just a way to just kind of get yourself all riled up for the next round, right? So the idea is that the timeout is for the purpose of calming down, right? I need to get back into my head. I need to become a resource person again. I need to be able to respond to you respectfully, right? So that's kind of the first purpose of it. And generally, physiologically, it takes at least an hour, depending on how angry you are or how riled up you are. It's going to take at least an hour for your body to turn off the rile-up hormones and like adrenaline and those sorts of things, and turn them down and kind of get back to a more stable set of hormones and such in your body. It just gives you time to kind of get settled again. If you go back too soon, those hormones are still kicking around, the body's still kind of, is it going to happen again? Right? And it's ready to go. Whereas if you wait until you've actually reached this state of calm, then you're actually going to be able to get back. So if you say it's going to be an hour and it's actually going to take you to, pull out your phone, text them and say, you know what, taking me a bit longer to calm down than I thought it would. Just, keeping a heads up, because we do not want the other party to feel abandoned or to feel like you're not coming back to deal with whatever it is that's going wrong. If it's important enough to get that riled up about, it's important enough to solve. So that is the idea here of returning to deal with the issue. Okay, so this isn't an escape clause. This isn't, I don't have to deal with it anymore. It's actually time to go out and think, okay, what's going on for me? And even if you deal with it simply by coming back and apologizing, say, yeah, I treated that, piece of garbage on the counter as a really big deal, and it really wasn't, and I'm sorry for that. That might be how you resolve the issue, or it might be, let's dig into it and figure out what's going on. So some things that you don't want to do when you are off on your 1 hour calm down. Not a great time to drive or self-medicate. Okay, this is not an opportunity to go out and make other kinds of mistakes. This is an opportunity to go out and find your resource self again, to find your ability to respond in a good way. So you can take a walk, you can take a shower, you can take a nap, you can meditate, you can do the dishes, you can do something useful, go mow the lawn, whatever it takes to allow you to calm down and allow your partner to feel like you're doing something to deal with the relationship positively, that you are making efforts to show up in a good way. You may actually have to repeat your timeouts. If it's a very important issue or you're new to this whole managing your emotions thing, you are definitely going to need to have more than one timeout, and that's okay. It'll kind of be like, early days of driving a car. You're paying attention to everything and it's hard as heck, right? And scary. Once you get used to using timeouts, managing your emotions, that's a different video, the amount of times you need to do this will go down. And eventually you'll get to the point where you don't actually even necessarily need to use timeouts that often. But if you do, they'll just become part of the rhythm of your relationship and the rhythm of how you manage it when things get a little ugly. It's an opportunity to live by your values. So a timeout, again, is not a way to hurt somebody. It's not a way to take control and to manipulate the situation. Timeouts are not an offensive tool. They are a defensive tool to help you live by your values. And that's really ultimately what it's about. It's also about being able to do self-care and to find safety, right? So if the other party is getting super intense and not managing how they're doing in the world, a timeout, telling them to go on a timeout may be ineffective, certainly if it's not something that they've agreed to. So at that point, you removing yourself from the situation is super important, and that's a self-care piece, as is doing these other pieces, right? So when we are helping ourselves calm down, we are caring for ourselves, we're caring for our relationship, and we're caring for the other person. And this is the point of a timeout. Super useful tool. Give it a try sometime. Just remember, this is for you to come back, live by your values, and solve whatever it is that's going wrong. Thanks for watching the video. Take a moment to take a look at this, maybe take notes, and talk to your partner if you are planning to make use of this. Thanks for watching.